Hey guys, so yeah, I just got back from my disability doctor appointment and oh my god, I can't believe how unnecessarily worried I was about this appointment. I mean, it was like so good. It was so great. I know that sounds ridiculously silly, but this doctor was so nice and so sweet, and so was the nurse that did my intake part. I can't believe I was so worried about this. I mean, they were both really, really nice. I mean, they were really, really thorough, but I had nothing to worry about. I'm not faking anything. So, yeah, I just told them the truth about everything. I mean, they had my medical records there too. So, and if anyone here is getting ready to do an interview, the first thing that they did, or the nurse did, was go through my medical history. She's like, so tell me about your medical history. And I just told them about like 50 million health issues, and then she asked me like what things I was capable of doing. So she asked me specific things like, so how about do you have difficulty doing things like bathing, and how about cooking, and getting up and down, like how many stairs can you get up and down by yourself, how many what else was there, like how far can you walk in terms of blocks without pain, how, like, in terms of like your house, like how far can you get along in your house, and like without unaided, how about with your cane, how long can you stand, how long can you sit without pain, things like that. Just very thorough questions like that, just answered honestly. And then after the nurse did all that, because they weigh you and all that kind of stuff. So when I went to the doctor, she just had me do certain physical stuff, and then she asked me questions about my pain. And she was familiar with Ehlers-Danlos, which was good. They didn't have my latest diagnosis on record because it was 2 weeks ago that I got diagnosed with a fibromuscular dysplasia. But so she's like, well, it's not on record, but I'm going to make a note of it. And she's like, and it's related to the vascular Ehlers-Danlos, so I'm going to make a note of that too. And then she asked about, so the first thing she did when she walked in, she's like, so you have an autoimmune condition? And I was like, that's the least of my problems, but I didn't say that. And I'm like, well, yeah, I also have, blah, blah, blah. And she asked me about how all those things affected me. She seemed to kind of she kind of concentrated on the autoimmune thing. So I'm not sure if that's because it's considered to be important for disability or whatever. I'm not sure, but in any case, she did seem to concentrate on that and asked me a lot about that. And then she also asked, of course, the main focus was the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and also my pain, like my pain levels every day, which parts of my body hurt, and specifically right now today, what was hurting, and how it affected my mobility. She had me do things like pushing on, she had me do a grip test, and she had me push against her arms and things like that, and then had me do certain things like, okay, now range of motion tests, hold your arms up this high, and then how far can you get without hurting yourself. And she was really mindful of especially around my neck, range of motion, because she's aware of the stroke risk thing. And she's like, you do not go any further. As soon as you feel pain, stop, and go very slowly. So she was really, really mindful of the stroke issue that could happen. She's like, we do not want to have to call the hospital while you're here, so just do not push yourself. So she was really, really, mindful of that. There was no sense that she was thinking that, I was faking or anything like that. All the shit that I put up with doctors in the past, of thinking that I was, or trying to accuse me of being hysterical or histrionic or faking, or it was just anxiety. There was none of that. There was no medical gaslighting whatsoever. So it was so refreshing because I've rarely encountered that, you know. My last couple of doctors I've been lucky with, but all the ones before that, like for 20 years, I just had a bunch of bullshit. So it was just like, I was so like just taken aback by it that I was like just immediately at ease. And so we had a really good rapport. She was really easy to talk to. I really liked her a lot, you know. And we even like got into politics a little bit. I mean, she was like, you know, not a Trump supporter. I mean, she was black, so clearly she was not a Trump supporter. We started talking about, you know, how the scary plight of the world and how she's had patients that were just like blatantly racist towards her. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They're coming to you for like approval for disability and they're calling you people and things. I mean, it was just like unbelievable, like the entitlement of people coming to this woman for help and they're treating her like that. I was just kind of floored, like this is the entitlement. She's like, yeah, people have come in here with Nazi tattoos. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, what kind of fucking world are we living in right now? And then she mentioned, she's like, you know, all this, like the way it's gonna affect, I mean, she would know. Like all you people out there, by the way, who are watching this and like, the big beautiful bill isn't going to affect people who really have disabilities. Well, this is a disability doctor and she's like, yeah, it's going to affect people with disabilities. And it's upsetting to her because she actually gives a shit. So yeah, I know it doesn't, those of you who are able-bodied and Trumpers and conservatives, I'm sure it's very like, you know, validating to you to think that it's not going to affect us, but guess what it is. So yeah, which is maybe one of the reasons that she was just so kind and, you know, and it was clear that she's going to approve me because, you know, those of us who need it, need it. So she's doing her part, which I was, you know, thank God for people like her who actually care, you know, because I've heard horror stories about certain doctors in her position. So, I mean, I just feel really lucky. I feel really lucky that in this particular climate where things are just falling apart, that, you know, at the very least, I've got a doctor who's going to ease the way for me as much as she can, you know. So it was a good experience and I just feel really grateful. And plus she was interested in my YouTube channel because I told her what I do. I'm like, you know, I have a YouTube channel and I talk about, and I'm on Instagram and I talk about, you know, disability and my experience with disability and chronic illness and chronic pain and, you know, mental health issues and all that. And, you know, I do it just to talk about my experience and hopefully, you know, just to bring awareness to people who don't really know much about it, and also to just have, you know, have some community, since I don't really have friends so much anymore. People that I, you know, used to hang out with and be friends with, they're not really around so much anymore. And so I kind of came to do this for the community. And, you know, I told her about that and she's like, yeah, she's like, that happens to almost everybody, you know, who gets, you know, long-term chronic illness or disability. She's like, people just don't tend to stick around. She's like, that's an unfortunate thing that happens, you know. So she was really just, you know, aware of people in the disability community. So it was edifying, you know, it was like validating. So so she was really interested. She's like, wow. And so she said the sweetest thing. The sweetest thing, not Swedish. She said the sweetest thing. She was like, she's like, you're really a special person, that you are, despite the fact that you've got, you know, all this pain all the time and, you know, that you're facing all this, you know, these health issues, and that you are, you know, you become more and more disabled, and with this, you know, degenerative illness condition that you have, that you are still, you know, making this content and getting out there and, you know, writing and, you know, trying to bring awareness and putting your story out there and making yourself vulnerable. she says it's really a special thing to do. You're really, you know, you're making a difference in the world. And I was like, I really hope so. And I just thought that was like a really kind thing for her to say. And, you know, I don't hear a lot of that sort of thing from people, you know. So, you know, I hear it sometimes. I hear it occasionally from people who watch my content, but it's, you know, I don't hear it often, you know. So it was nice to hear it from someone who's like a stranger and hasn't even seen my stuff yet. But I mean, just from me describing it, and, you know, there's a doctor who's kind of got my future in her hands, you know, and just for her to say that was, you know, it was pretty cool. So yeah. Anyway, that was like getting uncharacteristically a little emotional about it, I guess. So that was pretty cool. I mean, it's been, I don't know, it's been rough lately. I've been feeling really isolated and just not terribly supported by the people in my real life, you know, which that's just it is, I hate the phrase, it is what it is, but that's pretty much the only phrase that works, you know. It's just, people have their lives, and, you know, I'm not able to get out and join in the way I used to be able to do it, and it's not their problem, you know, I get that. But, you know, it is isolating, so I'm sorry I'm making all this noise with this fucking cup. Look, I finally got it. The schmutz off of it, by the way. What I usually do, isn't let it... Why you always look so crappy, by the way, when you guys see this, because I've been drinking out of it all day. I don't wash it every single time I make the hot chocolate with the cardamom in it or whatever, because it's like, it hurts my hands to wash dishes every single time. So I just use tinting all day long, and then I wash it in the morning or at the end of the night, whatever. So I just got through washing it this morning, and it's like late morning now, I think. Anyway, so, but anyway, so it was nice to have like that sort of connection with this doctor that I just met, and I had a good rapport with. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So, but anyway, so I've been trying to make, you know, some connections, like with the community, the disabled and chronically ill community on Instagram. There's really not like it's not like, I like YouTube because it's like long format videos and stuff. That's more common on there. And my videos tend to be kind of more long format, if you hadn't noticed, but there's far more community on Instagram, I've noticed. And there's like a nice little disabled community on here, so on Instagram, which I'm trying to, like, you know, become a part of. I have been on here for very long in the community, so, but I'm trying to do that because I'm just tired of the isolation, and I'm tired of like not being included, not having like friends so much, you know. So except for, you know, I've got some online people on Facebook, and I've got like there's a really good community for the cluster B community. If you're not familiar with what that is, that's like cluster B personality disorders are people who have there is the borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and then antisocial personality disorder, which is what I've got. There's a community of people who are, you know, trying to recover, which people don't think that that's a thing, but it is. Really good people, and so I'm part of that community, and that's definitely been nice because they've made me feel a lot less isolated too. And that's something I've been getting more involved with, and it's been really good for me. It's been really, really good for me, because that's a community that's very much isolated too and misunderstood big time. So it's been nice connecting with those people, you know. And I also feel like I need to connect with people who are in the disabled community, because like, I don't really know anybody. And, you know, I need to definitely expand my circle because I just have nobody in real life here that I see on any kind of regular basis or even talk to anymore, you know. Not in any regular basis, like at all, you know. So this is not, I'm not like trying to be like, oh, poor me, but it's, you know, I've gone from a person who was like really, really social and saw people, you know, saw friends all the time and hung out all the time, and, you know, to go from that to like seeing maybe one person like once every couple of months, it's like, Jesus, how did that happen, you know? So I'm giving myself a headache. Actually, no, I'm not giving myself a headache. It's just this, I really gotta go see that specialist because I've been having more and more like these neck pain headaches from that. That doctor said where the blockage is from the fibromuscular dysplasia thing. Those are like getting worse. And I can still feel those artery things. Anyway, I'm not trying to deflect, but it's just, I'm really getting a nasty headache. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what this is all about, like why I'm making all these videos here. It's kind of popped up out of nowhere, I know. I used to, this feed used to be all about my corseting for Ehlers-Danlos and my spinal injury. So that's why there's like a gazillion corset photos before these videos. But my hands can't deal with the lacing anymore, and I really just kind of like, over all that, it was like very homogenous, just about like the corseting and all that. And I still love corsets, but I just can't wear them anymore. So, and if anything, it's going to be about like bracing and all that, getting the braces that I need for my my body to keep me in one piece. So, but for now, I'm just making these videos about just everyday life, being fucked up and disabled. Oh, which reminds me, I just found out at my appointment that apparently I am now legally blind, which is a trip. I mean, I knew that my eyesight had gotten pretty bad, but I mean, and I know like this phone is super, I'm really close to the phone. It's super blurry, and like I'm a big blur, like looking at myself, everything is like a big smudge, but I didn't realize I was legally blind. And I just looked at her and I laughed. I'm like, you're kidding me. She's like, well, you took the vision test we gave you with your glasses on, yeah? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, your vision is extremely, extremely bad, my friend. She's like, you're gonna need to get yourself a blind cane, like you need to get yourself another kind of cane now to go along with the one that you've already got. I'm like, you're funny. She's like, no, I'm not kidding you. You know, if you're gonna keep walking, you know, you are eligible for a cane. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, well, I need my wheelchair anyway. So yeah, well, you really need to understand that you are legally blind. But I guess the upside of that is that the person who did my first interview for disability, she's like, your chances of getting disability and being approved for the first time around is exponentially better if you are legally blind. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not legally blind though. She's like, well, you know, they're gonna test your vision, so maybe, you know, maybe you'll luck out. And I'm like, luck out? She's like, yeah, well, you know. But when they did my vision test, I was like, I've got my glasses on. Why can't I see anything, you know? But I thought, well, you know, maybe I just need a new prescription or something. But I mean, no, she's like, you're legally blind, which doesn't mean, I guess, you know, I thought legally blind meant you are pretty much blind, but it just means that you have really, 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 really fucked up bad vision. So yeah, if I wasn't already confident that I was going to be approved, because she just like at the very last minute, she was about to, you know, end the, oh my God, what's with this vocal fry I've got going on? I think anyway, if it wasn't, if I wasn't already confident she was going to approve me at the very last minute, she's like, oh, I forgot to look at your vision thing. And then she's like, oh, I'm glad I looked at this. But yeah, I'm legally blind on top of everything else. I don't know why I find this so funny. It's just like, got so many things wrong with me. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? How am I still walking around or scooting around or whatever? Oh my God, which reminds me, Max, my roommate, gave me one of the, Joe's got 2 rollators and he's not using one of them, so he gave me one last night because I had gotten up with my cane, of course, to talk to him in the hallway, and I had almost passed out, and I'm like, I cannot stand lately. And he's like, well, why don't you just take one of the rollators? He's like, it's got a little seat thing on it, and you can just like, when you feel like you're gonna pass out when you're going down the hall, you can just sit on it, you know, and it seems like it might be a better bet for you. And I'm like, that's awesome, thank you. So now I've got a rollator. It's a little snazzy one too. It kind of looks like a little, I don't know, it's like a little sports car version of a rollator. It's really nice. So yeah, now I've got a rollator, which is pretty cool. So until I get the wheelchair thing sorted out, I can use that. I mean, I still wouldn't be able to walk a block with the damn thing. I mean, it would take me like a million years. I'd have to like walk and then sit. Cause I mean, I can't even like walk to the curb without feeling like I'm gonna pass out. So I was waiting for my Uber this morning. I was like, oh my God, it was terrible. I'm in bad shape. But anyway. I thought the doctor was gonna be like, you need to put more effort into like exercise and walking. But no, she was like, you need to prioritize resting as much as possible. And I was like, really? Okay. So yeah, that's been my day, and I'm very, very glad to be home and drinking my hot chocolate and resting. So yeah, I'm not sure when I find out officially about her assessment, but I have the mental health exam, the 20-something. Yeah. And then I don't know how fast things move from that point forward. I really don't. But hopefully it's quick, and hopefully I get some back pay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just really hoping things are starting to look up. I need things to start to look up. I'm just trying to keep going out of spite, you know. I really, you know, things are gonna be okay. Things are gonna be okay one way or another, you know. They gotta be. I got 2 little kitty cats to take care of. I've got myself to take care of, and you know, I get my own little place that'll be nice and clean. Get a caregiver to come in and help me out with stuff. That should happen before I have to move out of this place, but help me with things that I can't do. Maybe get a home-cooked meal every once in a while, and hopefully I will keep outliving this time bomb in my head and in my heart, literally. I mean, I've made it this far, a couple of years past the expiration date, so maybe I'll make it more. So yeah, so far I've had some okay luck, so why would that not continue? So maybe next I'll meet the love of my life and we'll be whisked off to, I don't know, where would I want to live? Oh, I don't know, anywhere but America, someplace warm and cultured, intelligent people who like to read, discuss things. God. Yeah, keep dreaming. Well, anyway, now that I'm like pipe dreaming, I think I'm gonna sign off and watch some really cool, awesome movie of some kind. Or maybe I'm just gonna take a nap. I don't know. All right, guys, I will be back later on. Have a great day, everybody.